Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're working anywhere in supply chain, logistics, procurement, warehouse management, or customer service, you're probably feeling the massive tectonic plates of this industry shifting right beneath your feet. Today, we're going to break down the rapid, undeniably massive rise of automation across our field. But more importantly, we're treating this explainer as your personal career development guide. Consider this your blueprint for not just surviving, but actually thriving over the next decade.
Okay, let's just dive right into the elephant in the room. It's the burning anxiety that absolutely everyone, literally from the warehouse floor all the way to the planner's desk, is feeling right now. Is AI going to take my job? Well, we need to completely flip that question on its head. The real issue isn't whether your job is just going to vanish into thin air. The real question is how your daily workflow is about to fundamentally change, and spoiler alert, it's going to change a lot.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll hit the AI reality check, where AI works today, fading versus thriving roles, your future-proof toolkit, and finish up with the AI-powered professional. Let's get to it.
Starting off with Section 1, the AI reality check, and specifically that intense need for speed that's driving all of this forward.
So we really have to understand why this technological shift is happening so aggressively. And it honestly all boils down to the Amazon effect. Consumers today expect everything immediately, right? If they order it today, they want it on their doorstep tomorrow. At the very same time, companies are under this massive pressure to keep inventory levels as lean as possible so their cash isn't just sitting tied up on warehouse shelves. They've got to relentlessly slash transportation costs and run these highly efficient, completely error-free operations. So the takeaway here is that these intense consumer expectations for speed and low costs are literally forcing companies to adopt AI just to survive.
Moving on to Section 2, where AI works today. This is our current battlefield. When we look at where AI is already deployed, it's so clear that this isn't some far-off sci-fi problem. It's happening today. In demand forecasting, AI isn't just looking at past sales. It's factoring in upcoming festivals, shifting weather patterns, and market trends to predict stock needs with terrifying accuracy. Over in inventory optimization, the tech is doing the heavy math to perfectly balance the cost of tied-up capital against the risk of lost sales. And out in the warehouse, we're seeing cameras, sensors, and robots working together to basically eliminate picking errors. But this illustrates something absolutely crucial. While AI handles all the heavy data lifting, human demand planners and warehouse managers are still urgently needed to interpret that technology and make the final strategic calls.
Building on that, in logistics, think about order management. Routine customer questions about payment holds, shipping delays, or status updates used to eat up hours of human time. Now, AI answers them in a matter of seconds. In transportation, the tech is instantly finding the absolute cheapest and fastest routes, monitoring live traffic, and dynamically optimizing fuel costs on the fly. The sheer efficiency we're talking about here is staggering.
That brings us right to Section 3, fading versus thriving roles. As a supply chain pro, you are standing at a major career crossroads.
Because a massive career leap is required right now. Think about your day-to-day. If your day consists heavily of data entry, manual reporting, routine order processing, or just repetitive documentation, those tasks are fading fast. They're prime targets for automation. Instead, the industry is absolutely desperate for supply chain analysts, automation specialists, ERP experts, and strategic demand planners. You've got to actively pivot your career away from routine paperwork and step up into those highly analytical, big-picture roles that machines simply can't do.
All right, Section 4, your future-proof toolkit. Get ready, because this is the exact skill arsenal you'll need over the next 5 to 10 years to stay competitive.
First up is generative AI. The absolute top professionals right now are mastering tools like ChatGPT. They're treating them as highly capable personal assistants to automate routine emails, draft up standard operating procedures, summarize incredibly lengthy reports, and even brainstorm process improvements and root cause analyses. If you're missing out on this, you're honestly just falling behind the efficiency curve.
Second, and listen closely here, do not think for a second that the basics have gone away. Advanced Excel is still the undisputed king of the supply chain, but we aren't talking about basic data entry anymore. Knowing how to pull data with XLOOKUP, clean it up with Power Query, summarize it with pivot tables, and build interactive dashboards for forecasting, those are foundational requirements now, not just nice-to-haves.
Third, you've got to step up to Power BI.
This is going to be one of the most critical, highly sought-after skills of the future. Why? Because management teams need to see the actual story the data is telling. If you can effortlessly visualize complex on-time in full, or OTIF reports, create dynamic inventory dashboards, and track customer performance metrics, you instantly become indispensable to leadership.
And finally, to round out your toolkit, learn SQL. If you can write SQL to pull exactly what you need out of a massive database, and if you understand how to integrate these new AI workflows into heavy-hitting ERP systems like SAP, Oracle, or Microsoft Dynamics, your value skyrockets. You effectively transform yourself from a traditional supply chain worker into a highly prized data analyst who just happens to understand the physical movement of goods.
Which brings us perfectly to our final section, the AI-powered professional. Let's talk about your ultimate advantage in this market.
Let's wrap up this explainer by fundamentally shifting how we think about this. AI is your assistant. It's not your enemy. The professional who just puts their head down and blindly clings to the old manual processes, they are going to seriously struggle in the coming years. But the professional who actively embraces this technology to do way more work in a fraction of the time, letting AI provide the deep data insights while they make the final, nuanced strategic decisions, that person is going to find endless opportunities. So I want to leave you with this really powerful thought. AI won't take your job. A professional using AI will. That is the absolute reality of the next decade in supply chain management. So as you look at your own career path starting today, are you going to be the one who gets replaced because you stuck to the old ways? Or are you going to be the one wielding the tools, driving the strategy, and shaping the whole future of the industry? The choice is entirely up to you. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I highly encourage you to start building that toolkit today.